Welcome to day 4 of the High Income Health Expert Challenge. Who here is ready for some more? Today, what we're looking at is how to make big money with a small audience. And this is really important because there's a lot of misunderstandings that's going around in the health education business space and just selling your advice online, because some people think that in order to make actual decent money, you need to have a big audience with a large followers and large email lists in order to start making something profitable or worth your while. And on the flip side, it's also being taught that people who have a big audience, these big influencers online, are automatically making big money. But the reality is many influencers are broke. Why? Because they've figured out how to gain social media influence, but it hasn't directly translated to buying influence. So they have not learned how to monetize their audience. So today, what I'm going to be covering is how to make sure that you're able to, one, build your audience in a way that can be profitable, and two, that help you to make big money regardless of how big your audience is. And if this is something of interest to you, then you'll definitely want to be listening here, because the old way that is taught for teaching how to monetize your health knowledge is at first what many courses, and I've bought a $1,000 course teaching how to create courses, and they were saying, well, first you got to build an audience. And then once you build an audience, you find something you sell, like a product to now sell to the audience that you built. But the problem with that is building an audience could take months or years, or it could take a long time to actually develop that. So what the new way is to first, you don't build an audience, you build a business. And when I'm coaching health coaches and I'm consulting with them, I show them how to build a business to create an irresistible health coaching offer that people are interested in buying, that solves a valuable problem in the marketplace. Then the audience you build, you create content around that offer, and you're able to support people and help them, and you're educating people closer to that solution. Whereas now when you have an audience, what a lot of times what people do who just build an audience first and they don't ever have any like business or express that they have these business products that they're able to provide, then people get all upset and they're like, oh, you're selling out, or it's like now you're changing, and then they've been very discouraged from monetizing the attention that the business that they've just put in. They've poured thousands of hours and hundreds of and thousands of dollars trying to build a substantial audience, and now their audience gets this backlash when they try to like ask or make an offer. Whereas if you build a business first and then you're able to provide content around that offer and the problem that you're able to solve, it makes a big difference where now they're able to buy as you grow. And it doesn't take a big audience to be able to make big money from that when you build it in this manner. So one thing that I find that people can do that gives them an advantage over the competition is, to be honest, learning to publish a book and becoming a bestseller I believe that authors have an advantage that non-author health coaches don't have. In fact, I believe there's 7 advantages that authors have in the marketplace in growing their business and standing out in this crowded market. The first of the author's advantage, what I would call, is the authority advantage. In fact, have you ever noticed that in the very root of authority is author? It's because the moment that you publish a book, especially a best-selling book, you instantly become an authority. You have this credibility that's attached, a legitimacy to your methodology. And people are looking for authorities or credible sources to learn from health people. And it's interesting, people think like, well, do I know enough? Am I really like credible? And I would ask you, is it because health coaches are credible that they publish a book, or is it because they publish a book that health coaches are credible? I would venture to submit to you that the marketplace perceives credibility instantly when you are an author on the subject, because it's seen as something that is that it's a very credible piece of content that the marketplace values. And also, like the same thing with speaking. When you are seen as a speaker, if you're speaking at an event, instantly people perceive you as a leader in the industry because they're in the audience or they see an audience and you're on stage. So now people are valuing your expertise, your influence, your methodologies and knowledge and advice. And so it's like the same thing. Are people credible? And are people credible, and that's why they get on stage to speak, or do they get on stage and speak and that's why they're credible? I believe it's the latter, because I mean it's and also, but when you write a book, it gives you an authority advantage that your competitors don't have when they haven't published a book. And the next thing that you'll see is that you'll get a unique advantage. Authors have a unique advantage that others don't. And what do I mean by unique advantage? Well, first of all, a book helps you to stand out in a crowded market. A book helps you to differentiate yourself from a lot of other health coaches who don't have a book. When I interviewed Drew Manning, he's the author of Fit to Fat to Fit. He published a book about his journey where he gained and lost 75 pounds on purpose, being a personal trainer and being one who wanted to empathize more with his audience. When he published a book, instantly it has set him apart from other people who don't have a book. How many personal trainers are out there, but how very few, a fraction of the percentage have actually published a book. And because he has that, you could read through some of the Amazon comments, they're highly reviewed and people are like, wow, I didn't want to like Drew. I was reading one, this lady was like, I didn't like him. I felt like he was just like this smug bodybuilder. He has that, I forget what they call him, but this like, I think it's Adonis, but they have this body of like a Greek god that is just like, he can't understand anything we're going through. But she got a copy of his book, read through it, and she just, like, her heart was melted and realized how sincere and authentic and honest that Drew is and how much he really cares about people. And then she just like fell in love with the methodology and the training and the framework that he expresses, and has been able to help her to finally stick with her weight loss goals. And in all of this was because he packaged his story into a book. And so that gives him a very unique experience where he has a physique that looks fit, but people don't understand the journey that took him there until they have his book. That a lot of other competitors, his competitors, they don't get that. So it gives you a unique advantage because a book can help you to stand out in a crowded market. And the T in there's a framework that I like to share about the author's advantage, and it spells out the word author. So we looked at A, U, and now T is what I would call the time advantage. The time advantage is really powerful because what a book allows you to do is disconnect your revenue, your income generation, from your time. And what I mean by that is when you have a service-based business, or when you have a service that you're paying for, whether it's one-on-one coaching or whether it is like applying the actual like natural remedies on an individual, or they come to your lifestyle and you have to like see them and work with them or do a procedure with them, that is, or if you're doing cooking demonstrations, if you got a seminar, you got to have people come to you, that is going to, you've now connected your revenue generation to the most scarcest resource that you have, that is your time. It's like when I was working as a mechanic shop, I realized like if I were to get, say, 1,000 customers who come in who want me to service their engine at one time, like that would bankrupt us. We wouldn't be able to fulfill on each of those cars, and we'd have a lot of angry customers if they were paying us all 1,000 at one time. Well, when you have a book is just as easy to sell 10 books as it is to sell 10,000 books, and with no incremental requirements of your time to fulfill. So these products, these information products, which is what a book is, gives you the freedom to scale and your time is leveraged at a much higher level than if you were just dependent on, like, say, one-on-one coaching. So another thing that it does is it allows you to connect, to convert, and communicate with others even while you sleep. Like like an example, when I go to events, a lot of times people will ask me what I do, and it's so much better than a business card, because business cards, you get these fat stack of business cards when you go to events, and you're like, oh, I'm going to go through those eventually, right? And where do they go? Either on a shelf that we never look at, or in a bag, or like a lot of people are like, oh, thank you, and then they just throw it away, because they don't, what do we do with business cards? Very few people actually follow up with those. But when you have a book is tangible value, and the society really values this little square paper, stack of paper, because, most people feel guilty about throwing away a book in the trash, because it's like, it's a book, you're not going to do that. There's like a embedded kind of reverence or respect with these types of books. And so now you've got something better than a business card, and people are like, wow, that's what you do? And if you got a good book hook and it catches their attention, they're like, I want to buy it. Where can I get a copy? And I'm speaking at an event this week, and people are attending, find out I have a book. They're like, okay, I want to buy it. I'm so interested in this. And then, so I've sold books at these events, and then months later, I get contacted by some of the readers, and they're like, look, I've been going through your book. This is so powerful. Would you be willing to speak on my audience? And some people would text me like, I'm still going through your book. It's so powerful. And when you think about it, what's amazing about this is that you have someone who is spending time with you, your story, your system, your frameworks, how you help people. And they're thinking of you, they're getting to know you, they're relating to you, you're building rapport, and they're learning to know, like, and trust you on a deeper level. And it doesn't involve your active, like, being on the phone, having these conversations, or being on a video call, interacting with them. You're leveraging your time and building relationships at scale in a very authentic and enjoyable way. So that's really powerful to me, because I love people, and I care about people, and I want to connect with people. And a book allows me to do that, to connect with people in a way that I would be entirely limited if I didn't have a book and I only had these face-to-face, belly-to-belly, phone-to-phone, screen-to-screen kind of abilities to connect with them. So it gives you a time advantage. And not only does a book allows you to switch from one-on-one selling to one-to-many selling, but when you write, you have the ability to write as though you're having a one-on-one conversation, where you're speaking just to the reader, as though they're the only person who can hear you. And that level of personalization that we teach our students to publish their books is so beautiful and is so powerful. So there's a time advantage that authors have that your competitors who are also in health coaching or doing something similar do not have. Then the H in authors is a helpful advantage. What do I mean by that? Well, first of all, a book allows you to impact people's lives in a way that you may not otherwise be able to. And say, if you have a high-ticket health coaching offer, not everyone can afford that, and that's fine. But a book allows people to work with you, to learn from you, to heal with you in a way that maybe they aren't ready for your coaching yet. But you don't want, just because someone can't join your coaching program doesn't mean you don't want to provide a coaching program. So what you could do is you can charge the 1% wealthy, and you can serve, so that you can serve the 99% who through your book can make a profound impact in their life. And it's a low ticket, cheap way that they can still get the training. It's like a do-it-yourself kind of method, that they're learning about your methodology and can apply these principles to their life. So there's a helpful advantage where you get to impact people's lives. And it's not only helpful for your client, it's also helpful for you as a coach, as an educator. Because one benefit I often tell health coaches, that I ask them, like, well, what do you do? What's your process? Tell me your unique method. And they're like, well, I don't really have a method. I just know that there's like these general principles. And that's one of the things that's challenging, where as a book will help you solve this challenge. By writing a book, publishing a book forces you to organize your thoughts into a structured manner that is like systemizing your solution, that makes it so clear of what is your message and how do you help people, and in what manner do you deliver the value to the marketplace? Because here's the thing, if your audience is confused and they don't really know what you do, how you help people, a confused mind always says no. Confused buyer never buys. And so by you organizing your thoughts into a book, it makes it so much easier to organize your thoughts, and it's helpful to now turn those principles into a signature speech. Now you can turn those principles into content for social media. It's helpful for you because now you've got marketing assets and marketing messages that you're able to deliver anywhere that you go. So there's a helpful advantage that authors have that non-authors don't really get in the marketplace. Well, so the H is helpful advantage. The O stands for offline advantage. In marketing, one thing that you want to do is you always want to stay top of mind. You want to find creative ways that you're able to stay where they're thinking about you, your message, your brand, your solutions, your opportunities, your offer. You just want people to be thinking about your story. And it's always a good sign when my audience or my clients, they tell me, I've been thinking about what you've been saying all week. It has been so impactful. It's helped me to make better decisions, because what you're doing is you're strengthening your relationship with them. And in this digital age, in the world where everything is online, where you have email and people aren't using direct mail as much, where you have online videos, online events, you have Zoom calls. Since COVID, it's been Zoom call galore, and you have all of these digital videos to choose from, and you go to YouTube and you watch your favorite YouTuber, but then what happens? All these suggested videos of competitors or similar people to distract your client from going to all sorts of places, chasing these shiny objects. Now, when the world is moved online, and that's no longer a new thing, being offline becomes a more scarce resource. It becomes an advantage where now you have a physical representation of your message, of your business, of your offer, and how you help people. There's a story that I heard from a mentor of mine, Hal Elrod. He wrote the book Miracle Morning. He sold millions of copies of this book, teaching people how to wake up and have an incredible morning to set themselves up for success. And so he sold millions of copies. He's in the top 1% of successful authors who's alive today. And he told me a story when he first got started. He was teaching to the youth market and to schools, and the school opened up, it was a big event, and they opened up, they're like, okay, we're ready for taking submissions for speakers who want to speak to our school. And they got this big stack of these speaker sales brochures. And Hal Elrod was talking to the lady. He's like, hey, is it okay if I send you my book? She's like, yeah, I would love it. So he sends her a book. And she puts this stack of brochures on the shelf, doesn't really think about it much. And then a few months later, Hal gets a call from the decision maker, this event planner. It was like, we absolutely want you to speak at our events, because and I'll tell you, if it was not for your book, I wouldn't be calling you now. While everybody else gave us brochures, we never really looked at them. But your book was sitting on my coffee table throughout all these months, and I'd see it, and I'd be reminded, and I would think about it, and I'd say, oh, I really want that. It's like, oh, I need to read that book. Oh, I got to remember that. And when I went through your story and I got to hear your message and how you show up, I'm like, our kids need to hear this message. And so it was because of your book that we decided to book you to speak at our events. So thank you for sharing that. And at the beginning, his speaker fees were on the lower end. He charged like $3,500-ish to speak. And they booked him twice. So he was able to make $7,000 in 2 hours because of his offline advantage that he receives as an author. And now anytime that he's going to pivot to a new industry or a new crowded market, he's going to write a book so that he's able to move into that sub-market. And that's been his strategy for building his multi-million-dollar business. And so when you have a book, you become like a physical reminder in a digital world. And that is extremely valuable as a business owner, as a health educator, so that you can stay top of mind in your marketing, in your ideal clients. So they're constantly thinking about you and looking at opportunities and ways to work together. So there's an offline advantage, but what's the R? The R in the author's advantage is a revenue advantage. Not only do book readers tend to be more affluent people, because people who read books, nonfiction books, they care about personal development, growth, they're lifelong learners. They tend to be more affluent and have more finances and resources because they're always learning. So the people who read books, like if you've ever heard the statistics that the average CEO reads about 52 books a year, well, there's going to be more wealthier, higher class kind of people that are likely to read your book as opposed to other types of media that you could be targeting. And so the types of people that you attract are going to be higher, they're going to be more affluent buyers, and they're better quality leads, because where someone who doesn't read your book is not as clear on your message or your, like, who you are and how you can help people, they're going to get on your consultation calls, your sales calls, they're going to speak to you, and they're going to be like, well, they're like, how well do you know our message? Well, I don't really know that much. But through a book, they're able to read for hours, spend hours with you before they ever get on a sales call or a sales message or a sales event, and they already know your method. They know your personality. They know how you speak. They know who you are, what you stand for, what you don't, and they're compelled by your story. They relate to you, and so an educated buyer is so much better than someone who's not. And like the ability to just come is like, oh, I see your price, I see what's going on. It's like, regardless of price, I'm ready to go. I like you, I'm moving forward. This is the thing that happens when you're able to cover your sales message through a book and impact people's lives. So you get higher quality leads that are more high-paying health clients than through other avenues. So there's a revenue advantage that you get as an author. So the S, so there's 7 advantages. The S stands for speaking advantage. The reality is media loves authors. And when I say media, what do I mean by that? Media includes podcast hosts. I just was speaking on a podcast where they have a audience network of over 200,000 listeners. And I was speaking there talking about my book. And I've been able to speak on other podcasts with over 140,000 listeners because I've authored a book, and they want to interview an author, an expert on a topic, where this is speaking events. They would much rather hire, if there's 2 speakers who talk on the same health subject, they'd rather pick the one who has a book than the one who does not. So they got speaking opportunities. The speaking engagements largely shift and belong to the authors. And if you don't have a book, you can get booked, but if there's a choice, media, events, platform hosts, podcast hosts, show hosts, they're gonna pick authors over non-authors most of the time. And not only that, when you publish a book, it increases your credibility and increases a perceived authority that you have, which means that you could also increase and call for higher speaker fees, where people are willing to pay you. You can go to health conferences who already have large budgets. They're expecting to pay speakers to show up on their stages and speak, and they're willing to pay higher speaker fees with people who are a higher authority in the health topic that you speak about. So you get to increase your speaker fees, and you get to have more profitable speaking gigs, because a lot of times one of the things we teach our clients that you can negotiate in your speaker contract is that that they can buy a copy of your book and give them to all of their audience attendees, where, like, let's say that they're to attend the event, it's going to be $50 and your book is $10, then you just your bulk price is at $10. Then if they just buy a book for their 3,000 attendees, then they just increase the event ticket to be $60 instead. So now all of them basically paid for the book who attended, and it's included in the ticket price. So now you have been paid 10 times 3,000. So that's $30,000 just in the book speaking fees. I mean, in the book buying in bulk orders. And so you can have more profitable speaking engagements. And events love it when authors are able to sign some books, have a corner. It looks great for media, press, and to be able to share and impact people's lives where they can get to know the author and talk with them. it's a really powerful opportunity. It creates a win for the audience. They walk away with more value, a win for the meeting host. It makes them look good. And it's a win for you as an author, as a speaker, as a coach, because now you have greater reach that as people engage with your talk and they're like, oh, this was so good. Now they want to deep dive into your book and get to know you a little bit more. Does that make sense? So these are the 7 advantages that I would say that authors have over non-authors. Now, how many of you would like to have an advantage? Type yes in the chat if you would like to have any of these author advantages for your health business, because it's completely possible for you. Now, I'm going to share with you what is the #1 habit of highly effective authors. In the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey, in this book, who's also sold millions and has remained on the bestseller list for a long time, and he's built an entire business off of the frameworks of this book. He says that highly effective people begin with the end in mind. Now, Enoch Leffingwell says highly effective authors begin with the back end in mind. And what do I mean by that? I mean, if you write a book, anytime that every book is solving a problem. And anytime you're solving a problem, by default, you're creating follow-up problems that your business could solve if you're highly effective, if you're intentional, if you think about your back-end business. A lot of times I ask health authors, I'm like, so tell me about your business. You've published these books. What about your business beyond your books? What does the back end look like? And they look at me and they're like, well, I don't have a business beyond the book. I don't have a back end. That's what I need help with. And I realize that a lot of people think that the business is the book. The book isn't the business. The book is the introduction to the business. The book lays a solid foundation, but it's not the entirety. The real business is on the back end. And when you begin with that back end coaching offer, that back end speaking in mind, then you're able to build a business around that book and really launch that to 6 figures or multiple 6 figures and beyond. So I'll give you an example. I like to think of it like a prism, where all the content you create is solving a problem. So if you could see the prism on the screen, you could see that what happens with a prism is light shines into the prism and then it splits into how many different colors does light go into? There's like 7 colors of the rainbow. So the fact that you solve a problem, you create at least 7 more follow-up problems that didn't exist for your client before they read your book. So an example, earlier in this challenge, I talked about creating lighthouse content. So as you can see on the screen, your book can become the lighthouse content that you're able to give to people. And by reading it, it's going to create follow-up problems that your back-end business is able to solve. I'll give you an example. Here are 9 ways to profit from a health book without selling a single copy. And there is this prism code that's going to break down how you can do that. Are you ready for me to crack the code? How would you like me to crack the code for building the back-end business for your business? Put a yes in the chat if you're ready for the prism code. So in the book, Cracking the Millionaire Code by Mark Victor Hansen, he talks about this prism code, and it's a wealth code for creating wealth. And these 2 millionaires, this is a lesson these millionaires taught me, and I've seen this, that it spells out prism. And I'll give you an example. So here's Kaylin Polan. Kaylin Polan is the founder of Lady Boss Weight Loss, and it's teaching women how to, this is how Kaylin Polan, who's a newbie female health coach, starting out with 0 tech experience and no product, she launched her business and changed the lives of over 1.3 million women in less than 3 years with Lady Boss Weight Loss. And here on this stage, she's getting an award by Russell Brunson, who's another mentor of mine. And the people who get this award has made over $10 million in their business. And I'm going to show you how she leveraged a book to skyrocket her business in just less than 3 years. So first of all, the first P in PRISM stands for product. This is, you start out with a product. It could be any product, but I'm going to use a health book as an example. So here's Kaylin Polan. And what she does is she published a book that's called Big Fat Lies. And I was talking to another health coach this week at an event, and I was like, what is it about the health message that really fascinates you and gets you excited? She's like, there's a lot of lies, and I like the truth. And because I like truth, I started to uncover a lot of the myths and the lies that the weight loss industry, the food industry, big pharma, and the sick care system, they've taught, like, we've been lied to about our health. And there's just so much lies that keeps people fat, sick, and nearly dead. And she's just sharing, like, I like learning the truth and I like sharing the truth. And that's exactly what Caitlin Poland did. She shared big fat lies that the weight loss industry and other people have taught you that prevents you from losing weight. So then she built a health book on that, and she launched it to #1 bestseller. And using the same principles that we teach our students, notice what she's able to do with this business. So the P is product, which is the health book. So the R in PRISM stands for related products. And now, because of the book, it now opens the doors for creating more related products. Example, now she's talking about weight loss. So that opens the door for providing some protein shakes, where now she's able, as people are reading, they're like, okay, what nutrition? What do I do for nutrition or protein as I'm working out? So you can provide that. And then other times we talked about Joe Cross with Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead. He teaches people how to do juicing. So what does that open up? That opens up for some kitchen equipment, like a juicer. What juicer are you going to buy? And for Lady Boss, she could sell fitness equipment. I know that P90X, or those workout Beachbody, they have their own like chin-up bar that they've now they've coined and branded, where they sell fitness equipment to support their info products. And then now that you are losing weight and you are exercising more and you're cooking healthier, what about some supplements? What are the good supplements that we could use for post-workout, pre-workout, so that we could fuel our body with the nutrients? In your book, there's going to be some principles or some added things that aren't really covered or addressed that you can now recommend supplements either you own, or like us, we've partnered with a company that's able to package these supplements, and we recommend them and we get commissions when people buy those, and that's fine. So she was able to create her own supplement line as related products, and guess how much money she made in doing this? Her business received over $150 million just selling related products to her from her book and in her business. So this is really powerful for her. Now, she also has swag and other swag and community gear that is branded kind of quotes that they say that also opens up doors. Now, the I in PRISM stands for information product. Now that you've published a book, people are going to go through your book and they're going to say, well, I would really like maybe some worksheets, or you can turn your book into an online course that people are able to go through, and where now you can record short videos about the chapters in your book, provide some worksheets, and now you've got a $1,000 home study course that people can go through. Or you could do online challenges, kind of like what we have here. In fact, we have turned our online challenge into a book. So the same principles we have here, we include in our book on high ticket health coaching, and you could do vice versa. And so people will pay to attend these challenges. You could also provide ebooks. There's another form of digital information products and that you can now have. And I shared an example of Natalie Hodson, who made over $1 million selling a $47 ebook. And so the opportunities are endless. Now, I'm not going to count ebooks as one of selling because I'm showing you 9 ways to make profit without selling a single copy. So we're looking at 5 so far. And Lady Boss, Caitlin Poland, and her husband has been able to make over $25 million just in information sales alone in the short space that they've been in business. And she's just taking the principles from her book and turning them into other digital products and programs and following the same core message that she has. Now, so that's the I in PRISM. I is information products. How many of you is making some sense that you could see a course, you could see possibly ebooks or audiobooks, or you could see other ways to be able to promote and sell and your program. your methodology, your message, your story that people can pay you. The opportunities are wide. There's more ways than 9, but I'm just sharing with you 9 to go through this. So the S in PRISM stands for services. Anytime that you sell a product, it now creates services that are related that you can now provide that people will pay you for. So an example, Lady Boss was able to open up, now there's some coaching that she's able to do, and she's able to coach people, hold them accountable. People will read your book and they're like, wow, I would really like your coaching to walk me through this process so that you can guide me through this. I would like the accountability. I'd like the personal, more access to the author. And books are incredible at increasing in demand for desiring group coaching. Another is like consulting, where people will actually pay for you to consult them on their health. There's also workshops, retreats that people can do, like Dr. Marianne Jones. She has retreats and that she's able to take people through these 10-day cleanse that she guides them through in this process. And through selling services like coaching, consulting, Lady Boss Weight Loss has made over $10 million in sales, teaching the same principles that she would cover in her book. Now she's able to provide this in her health coaching and consulting services. And another it opens up is speaking, where they're able to be invited to speak at other events. They host their own seminars, and speaking is a service that what happens a lot of times is people read your book, they're like, this message is powerful. I know my audience could use this. Or would you be willing to share this message to other events? Even if you're not thinking about speaking right now, when you're writing a book, you're going to get interest in people speaking and having you talk to their audience. I know, and that could open the doors to be able to travel the world, have all paid expense travels, vacations, to be able to connect with more people and reach people at scale. And as people are interested in your speech, they buy your book. It goes both ways, and they want to know, how could I have you as a coach to do the things that you just said? And so that speaking is a great way to sell coaching, health coaching as well. So the S in PRISM is services. What about M? M stands for media. When you publish a book, like I mentioned, media loves authors, so it opens the doors for you to be interviewed on podcasts, on blog articles. You could literally take a chapter of your book, guest post on other people's blog articles, and they would want to publish to their hundreds of thousands of readership and their views. And then now it's just a chapter of your book, and you could redirect them to read more. And what's powerful about blogs is people who read blogs read, period. So if they're likely to read a blog and they find out about your book through that, they're more likely to be a book buyer too. Also, there's interviews that open up, YouTube collaborations, social media, content that you're now able to create, book-based content to open up to all over social media. And it basically like creates a social media plan, a marketing plan, all based on your book content. And I interviewed Drew Manning, and after selling thousands and thousands of copies of his book, becoming a New York Times bestselling author, I asked him, like, look, you've been a successful author. You've built a health coaching business on the back end of your book. And I'd love to know, out of all the strategies and methods you've ever done, what has been the single most effective way for selling your book? And he's like, without hesitation, social media. I've sold more books through social media than any other way. And so that's exactly one of the things that we teach our students, how to leverage social media to sell more books and build their coaching business. And you don't need a large audience. With media, you can literally use other people's audience you can borrow their audience to build your audience. You're able to get interviewed on other people's platforms with large audiences of your dream clients, and now they're interested in what you have to offer. Is that amazing or what? So here's 9 ways that you can profit from a book without selling a single copy. Now, let me know, type yes in the chat if you can start to see a bigger vision for your business. Is this making sense? Would you like any of these things to happen for you? Put a yes in the chat if that is true. Now, some of you, as we're going through this, I want to ask you a question. So some of you are listening, you're like, Enoch, that was amazing. I felt like I had a fire hose for my face for this last hour. And this is just like, oh, this is amazing. And sometimes that's how people feel after they hear me speak. Obviously, we have like it's an honor to be able to share with you this entire process that we're putting together. But I don't really want to leave people here with without like sharing ways that, like, as you see that you've been in momentum and this has been making sense, and if things have been clicking and you've been excited through what is possible for you through this journey, is it okay if I share with you, take a few minutes to go over a special offer that I put together for those who are interested? Now, it's not going to make sense for everyone, but some of you are asking and coming up to me and saying like, hey, what could I do to, like, I want to work with you. What can I do? How can I, like, the challenge is about to end. We're on day 4 out of 5, and you're like, I don't want this learning environment to stop. I want to keep the momentum onward and upward. And if that's okay, just put a yes in the chat. Say yes. It's like, okay, because I don't want to do it if you guys aren't interested. Now, all right, so I'll share it with you guys. Now, let me ask, who here is excited to become a best-selling author? Some of you are just like excited as can be. I love these emojis. Some of you are just like this. It's exciting. There's some great things that can happen. In fact, according to a study conducted by New York Times, there's approximately 81% of Americans feel that they have a book in them and they should write it. But according to another study done by the Books Industry Study Group, only about 2% of Americans have actually written and published a book. You know what that means? That means 79% of people will go to their graves with unfulfilled dreams of becoming an author. Do you want to be a part of that 79% who feel they've got a book in them but never publish it in their lifetime? Or are you ready today to get the guidance that you've been looking for to help you to write, to publish, and launch your book to bestseller in the next 60 days? You ready? Well, congratulations. Let me introduce the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. This is the bootcamp I put together specifically for holistic health educators, wellness coaches, speakers, authors, people who have a health message and they want to share it with the world. And in this Best-Selling Book Bootcamp, what you're going to get is I'm going to be breaking down the 6 phases of writing a bestseller that I have found to be able to be a 2 times best-selling book and help my client to be able to launch their book to bestseller. And this is the principles I've found that are fast and effective for establishing yourself as an authority in your field. Now, the six phases are as such. Number 1 is, first we're going to plan your book. This is where you're able to turn your health mindsets and skill sets into income producing assets. We saw that now there's a revenue advantage of a book. We're going to teach you how to build, how to identify the knowledge that you already have or can quickly acquire and turn that into an income producing asset for you. Number 2, we're going to package your book. Now at this phase, you're going to learn the simple cure for writer's block that works every time. That no longer are you going to be paralyzed knowing what to say, how to title, how to optimize your book, how to speak to people. We're going to be able to, one of the areas that we do very good is we help health speakers to package their book and to get it out faster than they ever thought possible. Number 3, we're going to polish your book. And this is where you prepare it for publishing. And I'm going to show you how to avoid the traps that leave health authors with massive editing and proofreading time wasters and money costs. One of the reasons why so many people with a life-saving or life-transforming health message never get it out in a book, because they're in the most common traps that are keeping people wasting time, prolonging their time, and really limiting how soon that they're able to get this message out. So we're going to help you polish your book so you could avoid the traps that prevent you from publishing. And number 4, phase 4, we're going to next publish your book. I'm going to guide you step by step and take you by the hand and show you our hassle-free global book distribution secrets. This is where we're going to set up your automated printing, shipping, and fulfillment without any inventory. And we're going to make it smooth and easy for you as possible. Where we're going to get it from the message in your mind to a manuscript and to their mailbox anywhere in the world in the shortest time possible. And we're going to help you to publish your book and get it ready for preparation and simplify that process. So you don't have to be overwhelmed trying to figure out all this stuff on your own. We got you covered. The fifth phase of the best-selling book bootcamp is we're going to help you to promote your book. We're going to show you our 7 secrets to our unique bestseller launch strategy that will guarantee your book hits #1 on Amazon and beyond. This is a strategy that works. Like if I got to bestseller once, it's like, hey, that could be a fluke. But if I've done it twice and I've helped my clients to be able to do it, like we've got a system that's able to produce repeatable results. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And when our clients follow 100% of what we say, and they do 100% of that, and then 100% of them will get results. And we will guarantee that you will get to #1 bestseller. And we just know that our system works that good. So the sixth phase is now that you got to bestseller, now that you promoted your book, now we're going to show you how to profit your book. This is how wealthy authors like Drew Manning, like Hal Elrod, like Kaylin Poland, like these people that I've been sharing with you, how wealthy authors turn one book into a lifetime income. And now we're talking about building a real business on the back end of your book. So these are the 6 phases. Now, before really cracking the code on this publishing process, I was in a mastermind that each person, we paid $55,000 to be a part of this mastermind. And there is Kiana Danielle. She is a best-selling author. She's published multiple books. She's seen featured on international news, on television, in traditional media, and she's often called in to ask about her expertise in investing in financial space. And I had the opportunity to be at this mastermind with her, and we had dinner with us and some friends. There was a group of us. And this is where I got this breakthrough moment where originally she's another example of an author who she was speaking at an event where I found out about her book, where there was like 5,000 people in the audience, and every single person there got a copy of her book, including me. And I saw her book. I'm like, hey, this is a cool book. And it was called $1 Million Family Secrets. And it was showing families how they could build generational wealth. I'm like, well, that's pretty cool. And so I asked her, I said, so you publish books, and she teaches financial investing, not so much like book publishing, where I asked her, I'm like, so how much time do you spend on actually publishing the book or writing the book? Because here I am, mind you, I have this book vision. I've been working on it for like 8 months, but I don't quite see the finish line. I'm not sure where that is. And I asked her, like, how much time? Is it like 80% writing, 20% marketing, or do you do like 20% writing, 80% editing? And without hesitation, she's like, look, I take 2 days to write my book, and then I spend the next 12 years in marketing the book that I wrote. The vast majority of it is in marketing. I was like, what? That was mind-blowing to me, because I realized that I'm doing it wrong. There's something that these wealthy authors understand that I was missing. So I sought it out, I looked for it, and I got to understand, I recognized a pattern, and I began to invest in training and mentors and coaching, and begin to realize, oh, there's a pattern. And I see that I'm starting to understand why it's taking me so long to finally get this book out. Now, how many of you can relate to my story that your book is taking longer than you'd like to be able to publish it? Or maybe your desire, your dream is longer than you would like. Yeah. But I'll tell you, once I was able to crack the code for rapid book publishing, I was able to choose a completely new topic, and I published the book within 2 weeks and got it to #1 bestseller in business consulting. And then you see that since then, people have been devouring my book, going through it, and they've been enjoying it. And even like here, you could see that once you understand the principles, you'll have your readers like fighting over your last copies, excited to get a grip of it. These are some friends at our mastermind that were just, I like this photo. And then the same experience that Christopher Smith had. He's a client of mine who I've seen him personally struggling to write a book, build a business, investing in a lot of big name coaches. And he has been wanting to publish a book for like the last 3 years. Now, at this event that I was speaking at, his wife revealed to me that he's been talking about publishing a book for their 12 years, the whole time they've been married. But after all this time, he's never quite got that book out. After investing with us and going through the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp, he went from these 3 years of trying to figure this out to publishing his book in 3 weeks. And then following our 7-step unique bestseller launch strategy, he was able to launch his book to #1 bestseller in his category of diabetes on Amazon within 60 days. And what's exciting about that is now people are hearing his message, that he's been able to get some of his first paying clients to be able to pay him for his health advice. And as a diabetes coach, this is a major breakthrough for him. And what Christopher says, he says the information that Enoch gives is so valuable. You will be amazed at how much he gives. He cares about your success and gives you the tools you need to start on the journey of being a high-ticket health coach. And maybe some of you can relate with Christopher. You've invested in things before and you see that it's not serving you in the way that you'd like, or you've tried different things, but if you're looking for a breakthrough and if you want to do it faster, then there is a better way. So I believe this boot camp is extremely effective for helping health educators to get their message out. Now, who exactly is this boot camp for? First of all, this boot camp is great for if you are a health enthusiast and you want to learn how to take that passion for health education and turn it into a business. If you've never published a book before, this boot camp will take you by the hand and guide you. If you're already an existing author and you want to make an existing book, launch it to #1 bestseller, we can help you and build a business. Or if you have an existing author and you want to publish a next book and get that to bestseller and build a business, we can help you. Or if you already have a health method or a program developed, coaching, seminars, speaking, then we've got you covered. This boot camp is great for you. If you're currently a health coach or desire to be a health coach, if you're a health speaker or you want to break into the health speaking industry, speak on conferences with hundreds of people or sometimes thousands, and get booked and paid to speak and leverage a book for your business, this boot camp is great for you. If you are a health blogger or vlogger, you create content, or really anyone who has a health message, then this book, Best-Selling Book Bootcamp, is designed to help you to see, like, what is the way for you to get your book knowledge from your mind to a manuscript to their mailbox in the shortest amount of time possible, and identifying like what is the fastest path to cash so that you can leverage this book. And so you don't have to take long, you can do it fast. This is who it's for. And let me know in the comments if you can see, if you got a book idea, maybe you got several book ideas, let me know in the comments, what is your book idea? Comment that below. If it's, say, on the mind and body connection, if you want to help people with lupus disease and you're going to help them, or if you want to help people with Alzheimer's, or you want to help people with a detox, then look, just let me know in the comments, what's your idea? What kind of book idea comes to mind? I love hearing from people what they're doing. Now, one of the concerns that I get when people are thinking about publishing a book is they're like, well, I'm not a graphic designer. I'm not a very, graphic design isn't my thing. And I know it could be discouraging if we have a goal and we're like, but I don't really have that. Don't worry, I've got you covered. What we're gonna do is we're gonna provide for you, done for you, professional cover designs. And our professional design team has carefully crafted your cover templates that will attract your ideal target reader so that you can have consistent sales beyond your launch. And I'm going to share with you some ninja book cover tips that will allow you to grow your business, generate leads, even if they don't buy a single copy. Just from your cover alone is going to be bringing business back to you. And so we're going to provide done for you cover designs. Now, what you're going to get in the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp with this done for you cover design, you can, if you were to pay a graphic designer to do that, you could easily spend up to $1,500 for that. We're not going to charge you for that. It's going to be, you're going to get that included. So the total value for this bootcamp is $1,500. But I didn't want to stop there. And I was thinking, well, what else do you need? What else is going to give you make the biggest difference to really streamline the process? And I want to make sure that I'm thinking in advance of what would guide you or what would be the hindrances and how can we help you. So I'm also going to give you automated printing and distribution. I'm going to show you how you can set this up where your book will be available in paperback and ebook, print on demand format, distributed through an international global distribution platform. When someone purchases your book, it is printed, packaged, and shipped for you. You're not responsible for any fulfillment or inventory. This is a game changer for you because I've done publishing back in the day where my books, like we'd get boxes and boxes and have to have storage, and you got to go package them and ship them out when they go through. And it's like, ain't nobody got time for that. We're going to make sure that you are able to focus on doing the health education you do best, and your book readers will get their books that they bought, and you get paid for that. See, here's Michael Hyatt. He is a multiple New York Times bestselling author. He's a former CEO of Thomas Nelson Publisher, which is like a major traditional publishing company. And here's what he says about self-publishing. He says, I've worked in traditional publishing industry for 30 years and published most of my books through traditional publishers. However, I have self-published a few of my most recent books and recommend it as the first choice for most aspiring authors. Sometimes people think that you gotta have a traditional publishing deal in order to really succeed. But here's someone who's coming from the traditional publishing space. He's saying for most authors, most aspiring authors, self-publishing is the way to go. And you won't have a traditional publisher that's kind of breathing over your neck, telling you what you say, how to say it, what you can't do, how you need to market it, and taking vast majority of your profits and giving you pennies for your sales. You're going to be self-published, and we're going to help you to have self-publishing success. Now, what does this all include so far? We're looking at done-for-you professional cover design. It's a $1,500 value. We're going to give you automated printing and distribution, which is a $500 value. And you look at the amount of time that alone is going to save you for distributing thousands of copies of your books around the world to people who are interested in your message. Oh, that's easily $500 or more of what it would cost you just in the time alone. So what we're looking at now is about $2,000 value. And I'm thinking, well, what else? I really want to make this so it's so simple for you and it covers a basis and it can almost guarantee your success so that there's no reason for you to not thrive in this boot camp. So I think, and I realize a lot of times people get overwhelmed with some of the book formatting, or they got their messages, not sure how to like format their ideas into a book. So what we're going to provide also is done for you professional formatting. Yes, our design team has provided your book format template for both ebooks and paperback print. We will ensure that your book looks and feels extremely high quality, both inside and out. And if you were to pay someone to do this, we're going to see this would cost at least $1,000. So, but this is going to be covered for you inside this boot camp. What we're looking at now is done for you professional cover design, $1,500 value, automated printing and distribution, $500 value, done for you professional formatting, $1,500 value, and the total value is $3,500 that is going to be included when you buy the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. All of these bonuses will be there for you for free. At no extra cost. When you buy the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp, it's going to be, we're going to take care of you. We're going to take good care of our clients. But we didn't stop there. I started thinking more, what else do you need? What else could we give you that would help this to be just a no-brainer, to make it so we could stack the value for you that is going to make this the easiest, most simplest way possible. And I realized, we can help you set up the publishing and royalty rights so that we're going to guide you step by step through all of the publishing and set up worldwide distribution for your health book. You're going to keep 100% of the rights and royalties. You have full ownership and control over your content, your pricing, and your marketing strategies of your book. We're going to guide you, but you get to make the ultimate decision. This is your business, your project, your message, and we are here to, you get access to my team to help you to get your message out to the masses. And and you don't really get that with traditional publishers. So what we're looking at so far is what you're going to get is done for you professional cover design, $1,500 value. Automated printing and distribution, $500 value. Done for you professional formatting, so your book looks amazing and professional inside and out. That's a $1,500 value. You could easily spend that if you were getting book formatting. We got you covered. And publishing and royalty rights. This is a $997 value. Now, $1,000 is very low, considering the amount of royalties that you can get from your book is so much more, but you're going to keep all of that. And we're looking at a total value of $4,497. You're going to cover that. You don't pay us anything beyond the price of the best-selling book bootcamp. You get to keep all of the royalties as your passive residual income. But keep in mind, a lot of the business is going to be on the back ends of your business. We're going to teach you how to not just write a book, but build a business. So you're going to get that. And here's another testimony from Danielle Sweeney. She says, Enoch's mentorship has always been the most clear and encouraging to me. I'm always left feeling inspired and confident after receiving his support, and I would recommend his insights to anyone in the business of helping people. But beyond this, I want to know, what else do you need? What else could help you so that you can get more sales and you can have sustainable income and a consistent automated client flow? And I'm like, what can help you to get more clients? And I realized we can provide a social media marketing for authors. We're going to give you social media marketing mastery so you can turn your content into social media, and so you can understand. This is going to help you to craft a sustainable yet strategic plan for creating book-based content that builds your health-focused business, that you're going to learn to create consistent posts based on your book so that you can have a strong social media presence surrounding your book content that attracts high-paying health clients. Remember when we talked about Joe Cruz? He published that book, Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, that landed in a best-selling documentary. Well, on the sequel of the documentary, he did like a follow-up of his journey. And what I find interesting about that is he put out a post on Facebook where this is all he said. He said, this Sunday, I will be in North Fresno for a free talk at the Historic Library Theater. Hope to see you there. Juice on. And as you can see in the view, the crowd is loaded. He filled up a theater of people to come listen to him because of a social media post. And this is what happens when you publish a book and you start speaking on other people's platforms, and you can learn to turn this book into multiple products. And as you get a best-selling book, you imagine when you're able to go on social media, send a post, and people will reach out and they'll just travel to come hear you speak. You can have an instant audience anywhere you go. I remember there was a time I was speaking over in Tennessee, for example, and there was a lady who got my DVDs because I was sharing DVDs at the time, and now before online courses. She watched my videos online, she read my books, she just loved my content. I was speaking over at an event where her daughter was living in Tennessee, and her daughter got me this speaking engagement, and because I was there, this lady, Gloria, she traveled all the way from Florida and drove up to Tennessee with her son so that she could meet me in person. And just like the excitement, I was excited to see her because we've been corresponding over the years. And speaking at an event, and just being able to fill a room with people who come from different areas because you're able to travel and have an instant audience wherever you go, that is also something that events like that to invite speakers who can fill a room. And having a book has allowed Joe Cross, this average Joe who's coming from a lawyer background, to be able to fill entire theaters. Here's an example of when he went to New York City. He's like, hey, rebooters, that's what he calls his community, in the New York area. Don't forget to stop by Washington Square Park in New York City on Saturday. Come say hi and share your story. And then look, he had a crowd of people and that came out to hear. He's listening to his stories, and they're coming to meet, and they're meeting together and listening to this journey. Like, how would you like to be able to go to a location, post on social media, and have an instant audience where you could share your health message and transform people's lives and get to know how your book has impacted the lives of people around you? This is what we're going to show you how to do in social media marketing. And so far, what you're going to get in this best-selling book bootcamp is we provide the done-for-you professional cover design. It's a $1,500 value, automated printing and distribution, $500 value, done-for-you professional formatting. It's a $1,500 value, publishing and royalty rights. You get to keep all of that. It's easily $997 value. That is on the conservative side, and social media marketing for authors. And I'll tell you, there's like, I've been on I say $3,000 because I mean that is pretty conservative. I've been invited to speak on a YouTube channel that has over 230,000 subscribers, and as I'm sharing there, they wouldn't let me present like a direct offer, but I was able to talk about my topic, and I shared with them, hey, if anybody's interested in more, I gave them like a free mini course that they're able to go like opt in and log in and download. So I was able to collect email lists from that interview on his YouTube channel. But I can trace from within the next 7 days at easily another $3,000 that was added to our business because of that 60-minute interview, because of our automated webinars selling our courses and our programs, that people from that interview found me and then started buying more of our automated systems. And like $3,000 isn't a whole lot of money, but like I'm not getting offended for making $3,000 over a 60-minute speech. And when you learn how to leverage other people's platforms and you get to speak as an author on social media and other people's media, then you could easily make $3,000 or more from your speeches. So the total value that we're looking at right now is $7,497 when you sign up for the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp today. And that's not the price you're going to pay, but that is, I want you to see the type of value that you're going to receive when you do invest in this bootcamp. But I was thinking, how could I serve you at the highest level? What else do you need? And I know a lot of times when people buy a boot camp, they have a hard time with implementation. So I'm just like, how can I ensure, what is the most value I can give that's going to like ensure your success? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to provide a special bonus only for those who pay in full. You're going to get a 3-day implementation workshop. When you pay in full, I'm going to invite you over to Lewiston, Idaho, where we are, and we can come in person. You can network with other health coaches like you who are doing similar. You can find strategic partners, and I'm going to guide you through step by step, where a lot of times when you go to seminars, you take a course or coaching, you leave with a big to-do list. In this workshop, I promise you're going to leave with a big done list. And our clients have reported where Candace have said she's gotten more done in these 3 days than she has in 3 years on some of these workshops. They've been an absolute game changer for our clients. And formerly, people have had to pay $10,000 to be a part of these workshops. We're going to provide this for free to you when you sign up in the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp, but only when you pay in full for the bootcamp. So we're going to do the 3-day implementation workshop, and to ensure that you take action on the insights. Here's a testimony from Laura Spudicido. She's a health educator, and she said that I appreciate the practical tips, but more than anything, I trust Enoch. He has proven to be a very caring and genuinely interested in a very caring person and genuinely interested in helping others. And I really appreciate that, Laura, because hopefully, even as you can see, that I genuinely care about the people that I'm serving. I'm deeply invested in helping you to get your message to the masses. My goal is I don't want you to be a best kept secret. I'm literally alive today because one man with a health message learned how to market and package his knowledge into a book and a seminar, and he sold that to my mother. And because he sold it to my family, I was able to lose weight, take an interest for health, and it totally transformed the trajectory of my life. And I know that you're able to have that type of impact and more. And there's other Enochs out there who are fat, sick, and nearly dead like I was, who are waiting for solutions that you have, but they don't know as long as you remain the best kept secret. So my mission is to help you to get your mission to the masses. And that's what we're here to do. So just a recap of everything that you get inside when you join this Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. We're going to provide you done-for-you professional cover design. It's a $1,500 value. We're going to provide automated printing and distribution. That's a $500 value. We're going to provide done-for-you professional formatting, $1,500 value, and publishing and royalty rights. You get to keep all of that preserved for you. That's a $997 value. Social media marketing for authors, easily $3,000 value compared to all that you're going to get from it. And then the 3-day implementation workshop where our clients have paid us $10,000 to attend. You're going to get that for free when you sign up for the Best-Selling Bootcamp, but this is only for those who pay in full. And I'm going to even throw in the platform promotion secrets. These are the secrets that are designed to help you to leverage other people's platforms so you can get on stages with hundreds of thousands or 200,000. And even the last podcast I spoke to, if you take 200,000 listeners and you take, my city is about 30,000 people. It's not a big city. That would be equal to my entire city of 30,000 people times 6.5 of these cities all have the opportunity to hear my message, sharing with them. And there are tons of platforms. They are looking for experts. Just as you are looking for platforms to share your message, they are looking for authorities and authors to speak to their audience. So that is easily a $1,997 value. So total value what we're looking at right now is $19,494. You're going to get that when you sign up for the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp. Now, when the problem that stops a lot of people is that there are some just flat out lies, and there's a lot of like mainstream publishing advice that's just broken. Like, here's an example. I was searching the web and looking at variety of different publishing offers and seeing people who help publish books. And in one of the frequently asked questions, someone was asking, well, what is my word count going to look like? And the way it was answered was that you won't know your book word count until about 6 months into writing it. And only then will you begin to maybe get an idea. I was like, 6 months? Are you kidding me? We teach our students exactly how the word count is. What you're going to do is you're going to publish a book that's about 100 pages. You don't need to print a big, thick encyclopedia of natural remedies. It's just going to collect dust on the shelf. In order to build a business, you can change people's lives with a short health book, about 100 pages, which is going to be about 18,000 words, and we'll know exactly how long it's going to take you to put that together, and we'll guide you through the process. You don't have to wait 6 months or even years to try to publish. We helped Christopher to publish within 2 weeks, and we were able to publish our latest book on high-tech health coaching in 4 days. So we're going to show you our 4-day book publishing method that allows you to do it fast. It doesn't have to be slow and tedious. Other common myths is that you need a publisher in order for you to be successful. Self-publishing is what people do when they couldn't get a real publisher. But the reality is that people are getting disillusioned with the publishers. In fact, when I interviewed Drew Manning and I asked him, like, what would you do differently if knowing what you know now? And he shared his experience with the publisher, and he realized something that was shocking was that even though the publisher is going to take all that percentage, they're not even helping you with the marketing. They're like, you're on your own, sport. You got to go figure out how to market this. And so really self-publishing is a better way for most people. And And another myth that is said is that only experienced writers can publish a book. And what I realize is that's why people struggle, is they think they got to be a good writer. To be honest, I'm just going to be transparent. Is it okay if I be transparent with you? I am not a good writer, and I don't even enjoy writing. I don't like it. I find it exhausting and draining. That's part of the reason why I was struggling to publish a book, is because of like me trying to write this book. And that's one of the biggest things that prevents health coaches from publishing a book, is they're trying to write the book. So what I teach my students is, don't write your book, speak your book. That was a big breakthrough. And what I mean by speak your book is, a lot of times, if you don't have a problem giving a health seminar, or creating health health videos, or sharing health, having a conversation with someone in person about sharing your health advice, or doing a call over the phone or Zoom, and just talking about health like you would talk to a friend, if that's not an issue for you, then it's important to understand our author's DNA. This is one of the concepts I teach in the boot camp, is like, some people have author's DNA where they just love writing, and some they love speaking. And regardless of which one you prefer, I don't really see myself as a writer. I'm more of a speaker. So by learning to speak my book, and you can transcribe the spoken word into the written word. And if you love writing, this is your opportunity to just edit and write and publish but the thing is, don't start with a blank page. Great writers never start with a blank page, and you're able to publish and edit and get all of your author's DNA totally fulfilled in that process, and make it look nice. Or if you're like me, and you don't really like writing or editing or proofreading, like, that's not things that I enjoy. So you could speak your book and then outsource and have someone else to be able to edit and proofread and put together and package your knowledge or conversation into the format that we give you, into a best-selling book. And there, you don't have to be an experienced writer in order to publish a professional book. And it looks great. And so another idea that people mistakenly believe is that the book is going to sell themselves. If you write a great book, the book will sell itself. Like, that is not true at all. A good product will not sell itself. Like, do you know that there are currently competitors out there right now who are selling something that is inferior to you, not as effective. They don't love their client as much as you do. They can't serve them as much as you can, and like give them the value that you're able to provide and the truthfulness you can. And but their products is not as good as you, but they're still selling more than you, and they're still making more money than you are. Why is it that they are able to make more sales, and then someone like yourself, who has an amazing product, an amazing ability to help people, is making less? It's because great products don't sell themselves. They have to be marketed. They have to be sold. And if you want to get to bestseller, it's best to follow a best-selling strategy, because contrary to popular belief, publish and pray is not a marketing strategy. You can't just lean on a shovel and pray to God to dig you a hole. And there's a system, there's steps to follow. And you can follow that and get consistent results where you're able to impact people's lives automatically, as these podcasts and these interviews and speaking are continually growing in their viewership. You're continually growing in your your list of paying clients and book readers and book buyers. So a great book is not going to sell itself. And then the last myth is that writing a book is hard and it takes a long time. You know, it breaks my heart, because I see a lot of times people talk about, oh, writing a book was one of the hardest things I've ever done. I know, like, Russell Brunson shares how it was so difficult, it was exhausting, it was intense, but he built his business on the foundation of a book, and it's been such a game changer for him, where people actually pay him to be acquired as a customer, where most software companies are losing money to acquire a customer. He's gaining money to acquire a customer with his book. But I realized when I looked into the process and the coach, and I see like how he learned, I'm like, oh, no wonder it was such a grueling experience, because not all book coaches are created equally. Not all of them have a system that you could publish your book within days. Some of them take months or years, and their process, I realized not all system for creating books is created equally, and many of them do not actually address what I call your author's DNA. And when you are working and to publish a book in a way that's in harmony with how you actually express your ideas, then it becomes fun, fast, and easy. The book publishing process becomes enjoyable, and it doesn't have to take a long time. So this is just some of the brokenness that prevents people from health coaches from publishing a book and keeping them broke. But you don't have to. When you can break free from these myths in the industry, and you can go further faster. So I want to ask you, if all this boot camp did for you was finally help enable you to get your health book published and launched a bestseller, would it be worth it? Would it be worth it if you're able to get your book breakthrough? If all this boot camp did for you was establish you as a health expert in the health field, in your niche, your industry, would it be worth it? If you could become the go-to person where you get the speaking engagements, you get the interviews, you get the clients who are coming to you, where no longer you chasing down clients, but they're able to come to you. Would it be worth it? If all this did for you was get your first or next high-paying health clients, would it be worth it? Would it be worth just taking a look? See, I had two choices when putting together this boot camp. The first option was to go as cheap as possible and give you the bare minimum you need to succeed. But Jesus said, where your treasure is, there will your heart be also. And when people invest, they become more invested. And like manner, when you invest, it allows me and my team to invest in your success and to give you more. So the second option, it requires a little higher investment, but in exchange, I can devote more resources to guarantee your success, to support you through this journey. And like, which one, let me know in the comments, which option would you prefer that I take? Give you bare minimum, or to be able to support you at the highest level to ensure that you're able to get to bestseller and beyond and build your business on the back of your book? Would you want greater certainty, or like just enough to maybe like to charge you and it may or may not work, or may not give you the support that you could? I chose to go with the second one because I really want to make sure that when I'm selling something, it's coming from a place of integrity and honesty, and it's going to give you what you are looking for and help you. So I've looked at some publishing services, and I'm not going to mention any names, but I was looking at one of someone else who's doing some similar things. They're just looking at prices. What are some common prices for a service like what I'm sharing with you? And I wanted you to notice the most popular price was $48,000 to help to publish a book. And this company is used for some big name authors who you could probably recognize. But they're charging $48,000 as their most popular program. So the reason why is because they know they're not just publishing a book, they're publishing a book to build a business using the similar strategies that we're teaching and that you're able to learn. And if you look at their custom pricing, the custom price is $135,000 minimum investment. So it goes upwards to $35,000. Now, this is the price of publishing and how much it costs to get your book published. Now, I'm not going to charge you $130,000. I'm not going to charge you $48,000. And even though everything we put together is easily worth every bit that $9,900 and $500 that we showed you, I'm not even going to charge you $20,000. Today, you can get started now for just one-time payment of $19.97. And if you're interested in this book, in this best-selling book bootcamp, and you want to build a business on the back end of your book, go to the website on the screen, EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. You could just open up a new browser, go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. You might have to type in www.EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. And if you know that you're interested in this, then I encourage you to go to the website and sign up for this program. And here's a story of what Lilia Ackerman has shared. She's a best-selling author. She's a health coach. She's a customer of ours. She says that Enoch really is an expert on his topic. He explains in a very powerful but easy way to understand, especially to sell to an online audience. I notice that many people are afraid to put a price to their services. And if you have previously been afraid of putting a price to your health advice, then this boot camp is going to help you to unlock those blocks that have been preventing your blessings. And as I shared before, I am so confident that this will work for you and will help you to launch your book to bestseller. And to build this business around it, I'm going to give you a 30-day money-back guarantee. When you sign up today, if you're not happy for any reason or for no reason whatsoever, whether it's 29 minutes from now or 29 days from now, just let me know and we'll gladly give you your money back. Because we have a philosophy in our company that I don't want your money if we can't help you. I don't deserve your money. I'm not here to take it and run. This isn't just like a one time. It's like, I'm going to be here, take your money, and you hear crickets. It's like, we're here to support you and to help hold your hand, to guide you through and launch your book to #1 bestseller and beyond. And I'm willing to take the risk, so there's no risk to you, that if you're not satisfied, if it doesn't help you in the way that we've promised or that you've seen within the next 30 days, you can ask for your money back and we'll gladly do it, because we're going to stand by our word that we're going to help you to write, launch, and publish this book and beyond when you follow these principles. So now you have two choices. The first option, you can do nothing and not take this leap of faith, which is 100% risk-free on your behalf. Or the second option, you can get the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp now, and with this small investment today compared to the value that you're going to get in return. And if you're ready to take that second option and take this next step, to get started, go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. And you can see some details of the program. You can sign up, and it could be yours today for $19.97. And like, you've seen a lot of these stories and success stories of what our students or past clients have said about working with us and what it's like to be mentored by me. My question is, will you be our next success story? We are looking for students who are ready to take action, ready to build their business, and we're looking for more clients that we can help. And we're here to help you to write, to publish, and launch your first or next best-selling book in the next 60 days. And if you want to be featured on here, if you want to be another success story of the people whose lives have been impacted, who got to bestseller, who's been able to build their coaching business, who's been speaking on stages and getting the speaking gigs because of your book, then sign up today. Just go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. And the real question is this: is it worth investing just a few minutes of your time to check this out? Which, even if it does half of what I've claimed today on this training, will pay for itself as soon as you get your next high-paying client. Like, you can get, like, if from one high-paying client, from 3,000, 5,000, whatever you're charging, just one of them could come back and it would cover the cost of investment in itself. And if you're ready, you can get lifetime access to the Best-Selling Book Bootcamp for a one-time payment of just $19.97 today. You just go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. And if you're interested, I also have an affiliate program that if you would like to recommend this, and if, like, you just think, who do you know that is a health educator, a health coach, a health consultant, or has written a book and maybe it's not selling the way they'd like, or they don't have a business on the back end and they could use some health business coaching. Who do you know that has a message that you've learned from and you could say, wow, they really need some of the marketing help that Enoch can provide in this boot camp? What I'm willing to do is I'm willing to partner with you, and if you are going to send some referrals to us, I'm willing to split 50% commissions for the affiliates who are sending clients who purchase through you. And that's something I'm willing to do. And what I will do the fulfillment. If you sell to the person and they buy because of you, then you can get 50%. And just within 2 referrals of someone who buys this boot camp, that would cover your tuition cost alone. So just think about who that will be able to pay back your tuition. So think, who do you know that would like to go on this journey with you? Maybe you have some friends or some colleagues or some mentors that you can guide and invite to this process. You can get started for $19.97. And what I'm going to do is, for the first 5 people only who take advantage of this offer, I can't do this for everyone, but I'm going to give you a free 60-minute consultation call with me, where we're going to give you a strategy session to help you to hit the ground running, create a game plan where I'm going to dig into your business, your particulars, your expertise, get really clear on your best-selling, your book topic, and make sure that you have the clarity of what this looks like contextualized to your business to fit your needs and experience. And so we can get started reaching your goals quickly during our one-on-one call. And this is only for the first 5 people who join. So if you're ready right now, it's a first come, first serve basis. You don't have to keep watching. You just open up a new tab, go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. And as you schedule a call, then it's going to be based on who comes first. And in order to do that, if you're ready to get started, here is there's some screenshots of what this looks like. When you go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestseller, you're going to see this page on the left. And this page, you're going to see a big gold button. And as you push the golden button, it's going to take you to a calendar. And in this calendar, it's going to show the times that I'm available for this, to book a call with either me or my best-selling book strategist. And when you pick that call, then you'll be able to schedule, and congratulations, you're in the first 5 people. Even if you got questions and if you want to know more and you're not entirely sure, then still go ahead and book a call. Go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling, book a call, and we can answer those questions, whatever they may be. And we'll be happy to serve you and help to see if this is a good fit for you. And if you know where you're going, book a call, let's go. And I look forward to seeing you there, friends. And today, what we've covered is the secret to making big money with a small audience. You leverage other people's audiences. When you have a best-selling book, the media will promote your message to their audience. And it's just an incredible thing that's a game changer. So if you're ready to take your health coaching business to the next level, and you're ready to get the guidance and realizing that there's 3 types of work you can have. You can have guesswork, you can have hard work, or you can follow a framework. And if you're tired of guessing, you're tired of the hard stuff, trying to figure it out on your own, and you're ready to follow a framework, then just go to EnochLeffingwell.com/bestselling. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you so much, friends. This is the end of day 5. What we're going to do tomorrow is we're going to be talking about, this is your high income health expert blueprints. And this is a plan where I'm going to show you a biblical example of how God was able to provide a financial turnaround, a complete financial transformation, and that applies to health educators who have a health message to go forth. I'm going to show you some principles that are completely applicable today so that you can have your financial breakthrough. If this is something you're interested in, then do not miss tomorrow, because this is going to be a game changer, and we're going to keep on teaching. We're going to give some more content that you can apply to your life today. And thank you so much for your time. I'm glad we were able to hang out, and I look forward to hearing from you. And remember, friends, God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the called. Have a great day, and God bless.